I am Almog lecturer in English, Chittagong College, Chittagong. My dear students, we have been going through the worst situation, and in this unpleasant backdrop of situation, our principal sir, Professor M. Mujibul Haq Chaudhary, and also our vice principal sir, Professor M. Mujahidul Islam Chaudhary, keep us upbeat and alive. And this class is meant for intermediate students. English second paper, the topic is the preposition. Now, dear students, you see on the slide there is a circle, and this circle is surrounded by some prepositions, and also inside this circle there are 3 prepositions we see, and on top of this circle there is on, and on the left side you see to and toward, then close to the circle is out, and down the out we see into, then in the bottom we see by, and then we see out of, outside, and from, and within the circle there is in, and this is a box, or there is inside in the box, and there is a line which means throw. Now let us come to the point. On means at the top or at the upper surface. Example, she put the book on the table. On is also used as covering. Example, she put a blanket on the sleeping child. On is also used at the date of. Example, John was born on the 4th June. Sometime during the day of. Example, on Monday, on Friday, on Saturday, and about or concerning something. Example, a book on the table. Sorry, this is a book on history. Again, on is used for hanging from. Example, the fruit is on the tree, and the painting is on the wall. Then because of or due to. Example, to arrest someone on suspicion of bribery, and then on is used immediately after. Example, on Karim's entry, Rohim got up to leave the room. Then to indicate a means or medium. Example, I saw it on television. I am on the phone. And also on is used away or occupy with. He is on lunch. He is on the lunch break. Again, on vacation or on holiday. We use on in case of vacation and on holiday. Again, to mean regularly taking a drug. Example, he has been on the antidepressant far too long. Then actually on, I just pinpoint some basic issues, basic use of on, and on is used in a multifarious ways. In a variety of ways, because the more you read, the more diversity you will notice in English, in the usage of on, in, of, and other prepositions. That's why I ask you to read more and more so that the confusion arises in case of reading, or in case of using, or in case of writing. In English, you will face problem in the usage of preposition. That's why you must read again and again. You must read Reader's Digest. You must read multifarious books. You must read rich books, classical books. You must read literature to enhance your vocabs and other commands over the language. So let us come to two, which is already we notice in the circle, to and toward. There is a little bit difference between to and toward. When I mean I am going towards Newmarket, then actually I am going towards Newmarket, but I may not go to the Newmarket. I may go around the Newmarket. This doesn't mean any definite purpose. It doesn't serve any definite purpose. But when I said I am going to the Newmarket or I am going to the college, that means I must go to the college. So to has been used or is used to destination. Example, I am walking to the college. Again, to show purpose. Example, he is devoted himself to learning. Result of an action. Example, he was beaten to death. That means this is a result of an action. He was beaten severely or mercilessly, then he succumbs to die. That's why he was beaten to death. And also, to is used after an adjective. Example, similar to, relevant to, I was nice to him, she was cruel to him. Cruel, nice, relevant, similar, all these are adjectives. To indicate the indirect object. Example, I gave the book to him. Then from, we notice from in the circle, in the right side of the circle, then with the, from means with the source, utsho theke, then the juice comes from France. I got a letter from my brother, then with the origin or starting point. Example, he left from Chicago last night with the separation or exclusion or differentiation. Example, the mango falls from the tree. He knows right from wrong. And then out of. Out of means from the inside to the outside of. And having immersed. Example, he is out of classroom. The cat is out of the bag. Then without, no longer in possession. Example, he is out of work. The engine is out of order. And then we notice out just close to the circle in the left side. Out means away from the inside or away from the center. Then let us come to in. In, we notice in within the circle. In means within an area or a space. Example, the country is in Africa. He is playing in the field. Then he is in the room. And in means surrounded by something. Example, he is lying in the bed. He is sitting in a chair, forming the whole or part of something or somebody. Example, there are 31 days in May during a period of time. Example, in 2009, 2020, and so forth. In the 18th century, in spring, in summer, after a particular length of time. So in is used in big time, in season, in month, in year, and on also used in before day, on Monday, on Sunday, and before date. Then at is used actually in case of age, a very particular time, at a very particular place. I will discuss all about this in detail in my next consecutive classes. Then I will go just to dilate upon the topic which I want to pinpoint to my students. Then you also notice in the circle within, inside. If we go to the or revert to the circle, then this inside is, I want to say this inside means, so say I am in the room and there is a table. This table has a drawer and I put something in the drawer, inside the drawer. Say I am inside the box. Sorry, he is standing inside the door. Then he was inside the church. So inside means inside sometimes work as if in, or in the inner side of, or within. Then again we come to return to in. Example, to return in a minute, in a few minutes, hours, days, months. It will be ready in a week's time. Then wearing something. He dressed, example, he dressed in a red cloth. To describe physical surroundings. Example, we went out in the rain. So the physical condition or surroundings is raining. To show condition. Example, the house is in good condition. The flowers are in full bloom, not ripe. The flowers are in a blooming condition. Involved in something or profession. Example, he is teaching in a college. He is in the army. To show form, shape, arrangement, quantity of something. Example, it is a novel in 3 parts. There sat in rows. To show the language, material, etc. She wrote in pencil, I paid in cash. He spoke in a loud voice concerning something. Example, she was not lacking in courage. That means she was a courageous woman. Then, my dear students, here, these symbols are given to crystallize your confusion regarding prepositions. Crystallize means to make clear. Crystallize is an infinitive verb here. If we see in this slide so many prepositions, so many symbols, and actually these are very useful. Stay a while. These symbols are very useful because these symbols will show you the base or the basis. So, if I give you an example, then the whole thing will be clear to you. The building is founded on the base. If there is no base, if the building construction is started from upward to downward, then it is very ludicrous. It would give no meaning, useless. But we have to always start anything from the base or from the basis. If the base is strong enough, then the building or your capability, your development in English will be very strongest, will be very stronger. then these are actually base or basis on which you will stand. These are standing grounds. So in case of any confusion arises, you may have a glimpse of these symbols or condition of prepositions, then you will able to dispel or discard or to come away from this confusion, or you can solve the problem. These are the basics, and these are the very fundamentals. So here at first we see in and inside, as I told you in the earlier circle, on, and then at. At means at is used in case of time, particular time, a particular place or profession, or at some particular place. Say I am at the department in the college. Near, you can easily understand the position of near. Near means very close, not very attached. And then under, over. Over is not unlike on. And then below, this is a thing, then the ball is below the roof. This is a roof, below the roof. And above, this is a bed, or this is a floor, and the ball is above the floor. So, then round and around both are same, but the circle, there is a circle, and actually round means round or around means defining a circle or closed, or curve containing a thing. Here I can say an example. I planted lilies around the statue. Then the circle is around the ball. This circle is around the ball, or I planted lilies around the circle. Then throw. Throw means I have told you, or you notice throw in the circle. Throw means from one end or boundary to another. Say I went through the field, I went through the jungle, and I went through the forest, and then among. Say the ball, red ball is within the black balls. Or if I ask you, these are people, and these are mango. So if I say distribute the mango or divide the mango among the boys, these are boys. And among is actually used in case of more than two. And then between means it is used within two, not more than two. Say divide the mango between the two boys. Then behind, you see this is a box, and the ball is behind the box. And in front of me means before, just close to the box. Along, that means along, he is going along the road, or along is from one end to or towards the other end of something. The ball is going along the road, he is going along the road. Then across. Across means on the opposite side of, or example, there is a bridge across the river. Again, the ball is across the street. Then we rode across the river. Again, from one end, from one side to the other side, within. Say the plane straight across the sky. Straight means go straight across the sky. And then he walked across the room. He walked within the room. Here, across is used as within. And then across, and then this is up, how this gets up, and then in our day-to-day life we see the use of up. He gets up early in the morning. He gets up from sleep early in the morning. Then down, how down is the position of down. We use down and up in a very multifarious ways in our day-to-day life. Then if you face any sort of difficulty, then you will have a look at these symbols. Then opposite, this is a road. This two men is opposite to each other. And the building, if say this is a building and the building is opposite to this one. And onto means this is a motion. Onto means on something. This is actually unlike on. On means I put the ball on the table, but onto is a bit different from on. He jumped onto the table. The cat jumped onto the table. The ball jumped onto the table. So there is a little bit difference between on and onto. And then actually the meaning of onto means up on top of something. And then again off. We use off in our day-to-day life very profusely. Off means away from or not on. And he is on the computer. He is off on the computer, but he is on the phone. And then disconnected or subtracted from something. We use off in case of disconnected or subtracted from something. Say we have been off the grid for 3 days. And in the subtracted case, we use he took 20% of the list price. And again, off is used to indicate movement away from a position on. Suppose this ball was on the box or on the table. So off means here the position. That means I took it off the table. I took it off the table means I took it from the table. And I took the ball off the box. Again, to mean distant from. We are just off the main road. Then come to, and off also is used in a very diversified ways in our day-to-day life. And if you have had a very extensive read of something, then you will find out or you will figure out how off is used in a diversified ways. Then into. Into means this is actually motion. Into is used in our life as a motion phase or the state or condition or form of something. Say we enter into conversation, we enter into discussion, then turn into get into trouble, turn to say water turns into ice. We enter into conversation, but in our day-to-day life, our students sometimes make mistake regarding using into. There, if I ask the teacher entered the classroom, But in Bangla, if I ask students, শ্রেণীকক্ষে শিক্ষক প্রবেশ করিলেন, the students make a translation outright. The teacher entered into the classroom. Actually, entered into is wrong. And in our day-to-day life, we use form fill-up. Form fill-up is used in every office, in every educational institutions, in every sphere of our life. This is wrong. I will come up with form fill-up in my next class. Then out of. Out of means, as I told you earlier, out of the bag, out of the class, out of the room, then past. Past means what past? The ball is past the blackboard. Then come to the point, next point, next to, by, beside. These three words are used for the same purpose, next to, by, beside. You notice by in the circle, and I also want to say about something regarding by. By means proximity to, next to, beside, near. Then I am going by the road. I am going by the college. I am going by the parade corner. And then we use by. And my dear students, by is also used as through or through the medium. Say, enter by the door, or the boy is beaten by the stick. Then again, during the course of, say, he is used to studying by night. Then through the agency, a poem written by William Shakespeare. Then death by firing a squad. Then taken by force, happened by luck, and then again in conformity with. That means tal miliye chola in Bangla, abide by or acted by the rules. Then again we use by according to, we call her by name. We sell things by the kilogram. Then again against. Say the ball is against the wall. That means something keep in support of the wall or against the wall or with attached with the wall. Say I am leaning against the wall, or I am standing against the wall. Then over. Over means he jumped over the wall, and then the cat jumped over the wall. And from to. That we use from to. The teacher will be on leave from 10th June to 15th June. Then toward means, as I told you, in case of using to and towards in the circle. Then, my dear students, if you face any problem regarding this, the usage of these prepositions, you can have a look at these symbols or condition, and I think you should internalize these facts, these issues in your mind side. Then it would be very easier. But these are the basis, these are the base, these are the basics, these are the fundamentals. And one preposition is used in English in hundreds, in thousands of ways. The more you read, the more you learn about it. You cannot rely on this basis or basic or base. You have to read. You have to go through the English dailies, Reader's Digest, Outlook, and other international journals, Daily Mail, New York Times, The Guardians. The more you read, the more you learn. Not only prepositions, but also uh, uh, you can enrich your vocabulary, enrich your sentence constructions, syntax, enrich your parts of speech, enrich your English, and you will have a mastery of the language. Then please come to the point. I have not mentioned you or define or pin down what is preposition. Now, as you have done many things with the prepositions, now let us have a definition. Look at this. And one, prepositions are most commonly followed by a noun phrase, or pronoun. So, a preposition is a word placed before a noun or a pronoun to show in what relation the person or thing denoted by it stands in regard to something else. Actually, prepositions is a linker, or prepositions are linking words that link between a noun or pronoun or a noun phrase with other words in a sentence. So here, if we notice the examples, there is a cow in the field. In makes relationship or join the cow and the field, and B, he is fond of tea. So fond is an adjective, tea is a noun. So of makes relationship between fond and tea. And then the kid jumped off the chair. Here of makes relationship with the verb jumped and the chair. So the point is actually clear to us that preposition makes relationship between noun or noun phrase or pronoun along with other words in a sentence. Then come to the point 2. The noun or pronoun used with a preposition is its object, and a preposition may have two or more objects. As that means like the road runs over hill and plain. So there is a double object. Hill and plain are objects of the preposition. Over. Then come to next slide. Homework. For lacking for the constraint, time constraint, I cannot dilate upon the subject. I will have to take or I will have to conduct more classes with prepositions, and then the problem, the issue will be very clear to you. I have conflated many elements regarding preposition from different sources. I think if I integrate all these things in these slides in my 2 or 3 classes, then you will never face any difficulty in your day-to-day life. So homework, what is a preposition? Then when does a preposition follow its subject? And what have you learned from this topic? And write yourself. Then do activities with the prepositions you have already learned. So my dear students, I think you will get benefited from this topic if you have a close touch with this class, and I will take more classes with regarding prepositions, and wishing you every betterment. Thanks. Stay fine.